All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle a massive problem that pretty much every single trader faces, actually keeping a trading journal. We're going to explore a really powerful method that uses audio and AI to turn journaling from that chore you always put off into maybe the single most powerful tool you have for finding.
So why is this something so many traders just can't stick with?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Because the old way of doing it is just broken. Look, if you've got a journal that's just sitting on a shelf collecting dust, I want you to know you are not alone. It is an incredibly common problem, and it is not your fault.
And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. First, we'll look at the journaling problem itself. Then, I'll introduce a much better way, using audio. I'm going to walk you through my exact daily workflow. And then we get to the really cool part, the AI game changer. We'll wrap it up by talking about why this method is so effective and, of course, how you can get started. Let's dive in.
Okay, so Section 1, the journaling problem. We've all heard it a million times, right? Journaling is critical. You have to do it to find your patterns. But the reality is, most traders just quit. And why? Because let's be honest, after a long, grinding day in front of the screens, the absolute last thing anyone wants to do is sit down and write a whole essay about it.
The problem with traditional text journals is pretty obvious when you think about it. First off, they take forever. You're writing at the end of the day when you're already tired, and your memory of what happened is completely colored by whether you finished up or down. That's a huge bias. So what's the result? You either write down some shallow, useless notes, or even worse, you just skip it entirely. And you know which days you skip? The really bad ones. The days with the most valuable lessons.
So, what's the alternative? Well, instead of fighting an uphill battle against your own brain at the end of the day, we switch to something that's way more natural and immediate, audio journaling. This lets you capture your thoughts, your emotions, your doubts, right as they're actually happening, without the friction of having to stop and type everything out.
What kind of tool do you use for that? You know, you'd think it would be something fancy, but my go-to tool is incredibly simple, Audacity. It's a free app for your computer, it's super lightweight, and it is rock-solid reliable. The process is literally as easy as it gets. You hit record, you talk, you hit stop. You can make a few of these little clips throughout the day and then just export it all as one single MP3 file. That's it.
Okay, so let's move on to Section 3, my daily workflow. What does this actually look like in practice? I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, and the key here is that it's simple and it's repeatable. If it's too complicated, you just won't stick with it.
My process really just breaks down into 3 easy steps. First, before the market even opens, I'll record a quick voice note. I'll talk about my mood, my game plan for the day, any key levels I'm watching. Second, during the trading session, I capture those in-the-moment thoughts. Maybe right after I close a big trade or make a tough decision, I'll hit record real quick. And then third, after the day is done, I do a final quick summary. What worked, what didn't, and just a quick check-in on how I felt.
But how can this possibly work for something as fast-paced as scalping?
That's a great question, and it's a common misunderstanding. I am definitely not trying to record during every single trade, no way. Instead, what I do is, right after a quick flurry of activity, maybe a handful of scalps, then I hit record, and I can just talk through the whole sequence. Doing it on audio is so much faster and easier than typing, and my mindset is still totally fresh.
Now, I should also mention for those really, really critical moments, like if I feel myself starting to tilt, or I'm testing out a brand new strategy, I will sometimes use video journaling with a tool called OBS Studio. But honestly, for 95% of my journaling, audio is the way to go. It is just so much faster and has way less friction.
Okay, so we've talked about how to capture all this great data consistently. But now we get to Section 4, the AI game changer. This is where the system goes from being just a good habit to a legitimate superpower for your trading. Let's talk about the AI. Because, you see, recording your thoughts is really only half the battle. The real edge comes from being able to review all those thoughts effectively, to find the hidden patterns in your own behavior. And let's be real, nobody has the time to manually listen back to hours and hours of audio recordings. It's just impossible.
So how do you review all of that audio? This is where a tool called NotebookLM basically becomes your own personal AI trading analyst. It's so simple. You just upload your daily MP3 files, and the AI goes to work. It analyzes all of that audio, and it starts to identify and summarize trends, emotional patterns, behavioral habits, all from across weeks or even months of your journal entries.
And this is where you really start to see the edge. You can ask it incredibly specific questions, just like you would a human analyst. You can ask, what mistakes did I keep making last week? Or how did I manage my risk on those really volatile days? You can even just ask it, give me my top 5 areas for improvement, and it'll generate an answer based entirely on your own spoken words. It's incredible.
And it gets even cooler. NotebookLM can actually generate a mind map based on your journals. It lets you visually explore all the connections between your thoughts, your strategies, and your emotional states. It's like having a map of your own trading brain, and you can click on different parts of it to drill down into specific themes the AI found in your logs.
Okay, but here's the feature that is it's truly mind-blowing. The AI can generate an audio overview, basically a simulated two-person conversation that analyzes your trading style, your strengths, your weaknesses, all from your journals. It's literally like listening to a personalized coaching podcast about you.
So let's tie this all together. Section 5. Why does this combination of audio and AI work so well? When you boil it all down, it really comes back to one crucial word: consistency.
But is it really better than using AI on a text journal? Yes, and that's the critical point. It is absolutely better because audio solves the root problem. And AI is completely useless if you don't feed it consistent data. And most traders fail to keep a consistent text journal. Audio removes that barrier, so the benefits just stack on top of each other. You're finally journaling consistently, you're capturing authentic, raw emotion, you can review months of trades in just minutes, and you create this powerful feedback loop for constant improvement. Now, for the best part. For our final section here, your turn to try. You don't need any expensive software or some complicated setup to get started with this. You can literally begin with your very next trading session. So if you've struggled with traditional journaling, I'm asking you, are you ready to finally stick with it? This method gives you a path to make it a consistent and seriously powerful part of your routine. It's less about trying to force discipline and more about just using tools that work with your natural flow, not against it. And that's our look at the AI-powered audio journal. I really hope you found this valuable. If you love this content, please do us a favor and share it. Make sure you click the like button on this explainer and subscribe to our channel for more strategies to help you find your edge. Thanks so much for watching.